guess if you don't want to be recorded, you can, bye-bye. Okay, so the call to order is real easy. We just Stephen and Diana, and then our Councilor Morton, the liaison from the City Council. And has everybody seen the minutes? Since we don't have a quorum, we're not really able to have a motion to approve. But if you've looked at it, are there any corrections you think that we could look at for next meeting approval? No? Okay.
They look correct to me.
They look fine to me too.
They're good.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on then. And at the next meeting, we'll
vote on both of them, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We can just vote on both of them the next meeting. Okay. Next is the board business. Do we have a trustee short take? Patrick?
We do. I will share my screen. This one, Nancy, is for you. It is all about working with friends groups. Okay. Is where our schedule puts us. So let me get that shared.
So that can be really difficult, you know.
Careful, hey, we're live streaming.
Right, Diane?
Oh, I'm going to stop because I forgot. One day I'll click that share sound button the first time. Try again. There we go.
Welcome to Short Takes for Trustees. I'm Beth Novolinsky, the Director of Marketing and Communications for United for Libraries. We are the division of the American Library Association for trustees, advocates, friends, and foundations. I'm here today speaking with our Executive Director, Sally Gardner-Reed, and we'll be talking about working effectively with friends. Sally, we've both done a lot of work with friends groups over the years, and we know that when friends and trustees work together, that they really do great things for their library. But they really do have different roles, don't they?
Yes, they do. They have very different roles. As we've talked in the past, governing boards of libraries, for example, have a huge amount of responsibility. They are fiduciaries for their boards, and that means that they have responsibility for the entire assets of the library. They hire and fire the director, they set the policy, they're responsible for the facilities, they're responsible for the collections. It's an awesome amount of responsibility. The Friends, on the other hand, do the wonderful work of raising a lot of money for the library to provide for those items that are not otherwise available in the library's budget. So it's a great thing. It's a great partnership, different roles, but a great symbiotic relationship.
So even though their roles are very different, are there ways that they can and should work together to benefit the library?
Absolutely. Both groups represent the community, and they have a wonderful opportunity to promote the library back to the community. Now, the trustees will often do this in a more formal way because they are advocates for the library's budget on a yearly basis. They will often be visiting the VIPs every year. They'll know the people who fund them on a first name basis. They'll be making regular visits to them. So it's perhaps a more political role that they'll play in promoting the library. The Friends are on the ground. They're doing those fundraisers, used book sales, really the grassroots sort of thing. So very often their promotion of the library will be more informal and yet more grassroots oriented. And so both of them will be doing a lot of promotion of the library, which is great. And if there's a formal need to do advocacy or fundraising, suppose there's a capital campaign afoot, or if there's a need to really raise the library's budget or stave off a proposed cut to the library's budget, it's usually the Friends and trustees who join forces to do a very concerted effort at a fundraising or advocacy campaign, working very closely together. And when they do join forces, they are often extremely successful. I've seen it time and again. It's a wonder to behold.
What happens if trustees and Friends don't work together on such campaigns?
Well, I think without partnership, those campaigns are going to suffer, because it really takes a united front from all library supporters. And it's hard to understand why they wouldn't. Usually if they don't, it's because there's some disconnect between the trustees and the friends. And it's hard to understand why that happens. It's usually bad blood, it's a misunderstanding, it's often very much just a personality difference or holding of a grudge between the library or the trustees and the friends. And we have talked in the past about the trustees being responsible for that duty of loyalty, which is to put the library first at all times, and their own personal feelings and grudges and self-interest behind that. And I think that that should be also incumbent upon friends, that they should always put the library first. And if they can't, I would say that they should probably get off the friends and join, volunteer for the Humane Society or the Red Cross, because it does the library no good whatsoever for any volunteer, whether it's on the board or on the friends, to not put the library first. That is a disservice to the library. It causes dysfunction and a rift, and no one benefits from that.
That brings to mind another question. I've heard from time to time from trustees that the friends are saving their money and not spending it on the library, either because they don't agree with the direction the library is taking, or they don't want to support what the director wants to spend the money on. And the trustees are asking if they have the authority to force the friends to spend that money.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Actually, they don't. Most friends are 501c3 organizations, which mean they are autonomous and separate from the library and the library trustees. And that's actually as it should be. We actually support friends getting their 501c3 because it protects their money actually from the city and county governments, especially when the library is part of a city or county entity, because we do know that sometimes their money can be at risk to those entities. So it can be a challenge for trustees, and unfortunately they probably need to work in another way with their friends to help them understand how important it is that they spend that money on the library. And I would say that I think it's a breach of faith when the friends don't spend money on the library, because those who give money to the library, to the friends, either through their membership dues or by buying used books, think that the money that they're donating is going to the library. They don't think it's going to a bank account. Nobody wants to donate to a bank account. So really, it's a breach of faith between the friends and the donors when they're not spending that money.
What do you suggest if there is a disconnect between the library director and the friends that does not seem resolvable?
First of all, I think the friends and the director and the trustees should probably try to get together and to see if there isn't a resolution. So for example, there might be an opportunity to do a sort of a low-key conversation, maybe a facilitated conversation, maybe something like a potluck, where they have some communal we love the library type of thing, and talk about where the library is going, discuss the strategic plan, and allow those friends to have an opportunity to try to see where they fit in to making the goals happen, see the direction the library is going in, and see how they can help achieve those goals. And it would be wonderful if that could happen. And if in the end the friends see better where the library is going, why the director is asking for what she or he is asking for, and now feel more comfortable giving money to support that direction, that would be wonderful. And then the director could sort of create a new practice of meeting with the friends every year to say, here's what we see in the year ahead. Here's what we're expecting on our horizon. We're noting that we are seeing, for example, a lot of new Vietnamese families moving into our community, and we're really not prepared for that in terms of our collections. We know that we need more ESL books for these kids, English as a second language, and we don't have the budget for that, so we're going to probably be looking for your help in this area. Well, once the friends have been brought in at the bottom, stages, they're going to be much more willing to support this new collection than if the director just pops in 6 months later and asks for $10,000 for a new children's collection and hasn't explained why they're heading in this direction. So I think that that's a new best practice, and then the director can come with a wish list every month to the meeting based on this strategic discussion they've had at the beginning of the fiscal year.
Now, what if that process, that coming together, just doesn't work and it's still unresolvable?
And sadly, sometimes that really does happen. Not often, but sometimes there's just no meeting of the minds. In the case of a governing board, one of the most precious assets of a library is its name and reputation, and governing boards have the responsibility to protect that. When there is a rift so deep that there is no coming together, it's important for the trustees to recognize the potential that has for the harming of the library's reputation and name, because sooner or later those kinds of rifts often become public, and the friends will discuss out loud their dissatisfaction with the direction the library is taking, and that's really bad for the library. So in those very unusual, tough cases, my recommendation is for the trustees to let the friends know that they can no longer use the library's name in its fundraising, and therefore really tell the friends to cease and desist. This helps protect the reputation and name of the library, and it also opens the door for a new friends group to use the library's name and really raise money that will help the library.
What are some positive ways that the trustees can work with and help support the friends on an ongoing, regular basis?
That's a good question, because of course the best way to prevent the worst case scenario is to avoid it in the first place. And there are some things the trustees can do. The first is for the trustees to join the friends financially at the highest level they are able to, and donate at the highest level every single year that they can. They should attend Friends functions as often as they are able to. If they have an opportunity to introduce a speaker, for example, at a Friends program or MC, they should be very sure to let the audience know that the Friends brought this program to the library and praise all the work that they've done. Perhaps they want to write the occasional letter to the editor about how wonderful the Friends are and how generous they are to the library. They should have a place on their agenda at all the board meetings for the Friends president or representative to come and talk about what they have been doing this past month and what money they have spent on the library and how important that's been for the library, that sort of thing. So to engage the Friends and recognize the Friends, and then also support them financially through their dues.
Thank you, Sally. That was a great discussion about how friends and trustees can work together to really benefit the library and move the library forward. And for our viewers, I'll let you know that we have compiled a list of resources. If you're looking to start a friends group, or you have one, or perhaps you are in that difficult situation Sally mentioned, we have a list of resources to help you address that continuum of needs. Your director will provide you this list of resources. We encourage you to look them over, read through them, and if you have any questions, discuss those with your library director. Thank you.
So that one where I'm happy to say we're good.
It sounds like we're doing everything right.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm new, right? But I haven't seen any issues between friends and myself, friends and board, board and friends, board and me, right? Like it's been set up the way before I got here was set up the way that it should be. So it's been nice.
I think I can speak for all the people present too, that the friends, it's just the opposite of all the anxiety, angst, everything. The friends and the board have always been most supportive. The board has always been very supportive. Any kind of fundraiser, I think Marilyn and Diana can attest to that.
Yeah.
At any time that the board has been very responsive to that.
half the time at the Friends, the library director, and we have set a precedent with this, just so you know, the library director will come and ask for a certain amount of funds, and we often raise it.
Yeah.
That is good news.
Yeah. Is that
Good to hear.
Yeah, we've done it. Marilyn's the one who's most likely to do that. She likes to, I think she likes to make everything even or something.
That must be it, yeah.
Mathematically, it all comes out in zeros, you know. So, yeah, no, we're very generous, the Friends are.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, haven't had any real good fundraisers in a year and a half or so. So we got to get going on that again. But in the past, that's where when we had the capital, when we were building the new library, 15 years ago, I mean, that was just, the Friends were an integral part of the whole fundraising issue, you know, because many of those large grants came directly to us, the Friends, and not to the city.
Yeah.
So, and because of what that gal mentioned, that the city oftentimes wants to take your money and do what they want to do with it. And this way we want to make sure that the library is protected in that way. So that was good. Okay. Anybody have any questions of Patrick or anything regarding that? Stephen, did you?
No, I was going to ask, okay, so Director Budley, what's your relationship like with the Friends? But we've answered that. But the other question I had, and I think I know the answer, the old library that the Friends hangs out in, as well as Ash Creek Art and everything, is that city owned and city maintained, or does anything with the library budget or the Friends budget have to go toward maintenance of the old library?
Our budget doesn't go towards it.
No, it's 100% maintained by the city, but that's the physical building itself. Mm-hmm. And the arts, Ash Creek Arts Center and the Friends both kind of share in keeping it clean, you know, and vacuuming and making stuff. But of course, the grounds belong to the city and the building belongs to the city. So any of those physical things are taken care of by the city and I don't think they come out of your budget, do they, Patrick? Anything?
I haven't seen a light item for it at all, and I haven't ever paid anything for it. So
yeah, no, it's not. I think it's just under general administration of our buildings.
It is. The last thing that the city expended more than just a little on was putting on a new roof on the library, and they on that old library, and they took care of that.
Yeah, okay. or if it needs painting or something like that, you know, then in the city. But the city is very generous in letting both the Friends of the Library, the Art Center, take advantage of that building, you know, and so both organizations are very careful to make sure we don't do any harm to it and keep it nice, and are very appreciative of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else then, Patrick, that to ask Patrick about, or anything regarding the trustee short list?
I will forward that onto you or email the documents just like we have with the other trainings. I will get those to you before the end of the day.
Okay, great. Okay, another good one. I just love those kind of things where you sit there and go, we're doing everything right. Yeah, so, and I can't even imagine in a million years being at odds with anybody on the board. I mean, it just sort of sounds crazy, doesn't it? I guess it happens.
Hard to be at odds with yourself sometimes.
Well, that too, yeah. All right, the next item on the agenda is the committee reports and Friends of the Library. I just made a couple of notes. As usual, we haven't had any live meetings yet, which should change in the next 60 days, I think, since I'm sure everybody on the Friends membership board and everything is vaccinated. So I think we will be able to open up that if it's okay with Patrick, because we usually use the meeting room or one of those.
If the library is up and running, if not, we will find a place. But the meeting room is our storage spot right now for all the
Oh, okay.
chairs.
Well, in the
and-
past, we've ended up in the front by the newspaper. So,
No, and that's fine. I'm just saying there's no chairs there currently.
oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, that's okay. So we can, but we can discuss that later.
Yeah, and if
Oh.
we're 2 months out,
Yeah.
we can, yeah.
Okay, and in terms of what the Friends have done since the last meeting, the bookstore has generated approximately $200, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I was really happy. And they will be opening for the 4th of July. Stan said that he wants to do, I believe it's 3 days, right? Patrick, is that?
I think they
Friday,
were planning
Saturday?
on yeah, I don't know, with the 4th falling on a Sunday, I can't remember what he was saying for rolling that in there, but I know it was a multi-day. If you go to their friend's bookstore now, they've got crates and crates that they've pulled off the shelves to get ready for that. They're gearing up already.
Yeah. Crates of avocado crates.
Yep.
That used to hold avocados in. Okay, and then the Friends, then the other note I just made was that the Friends renewed the movie licenses for the library. So we're all set to go with any kind of movie you need, including Disney. That's one of the licenses.
Nancy, did you get, I only saw the one renewal. I know we have 2 different services.
Yeah,
Did you just pay the one?
no.
I believe the second one isn't due till the fall. That was the one that you called, and since we weren't doing anything, they extended our date and then renewed from there. I'm just double checking that you only took care of the one, correct?
Well, I don't know. I wonder if hang on a second. I show, let me see if I have the receipt. I think if I put it somewhere else. I show here the thing that I did, the movie license for Swank
Yeah,
is the Disney and all that. And then I also did one for the MPLC,
oh, okay.
that movie licensing USA, that also provides blanket movie licensing for everything other than Disney. So
Okay, so you did do both of them then.
yeah,
Okay,
I'll look
perfect.
again and see what that bill says, what the period of time is again. I have to get up and leave and go into my box.
Yeah, and I've got the certificate here that has our date on it. I just didn't know that you had done the second one too. So
I think
thank you.
I think they sent us a bill for it. So I did,
Okay.
Just made more sense. Okay, yeah. So both of those have been taken through. So you can watch movies to your delight. Okay, so where are we on the agenda here? Oh, I think we have you now, don't we?
Yeah, if we're up to the monthly report, I'll share my
Yeah,
screen
yeah,
again.
report, okay.
Just so everyone can see that report. I'm hoping you can see it now.
Yes.
For those of you that
Yes.
don't have a copy.
Yes.
So just like we thought, it's amazing. The first numbers are the circulation. It's amazing what being open to the public and letting them inside the building will do for your circulation.
Sure.
So yeah, the first time circulation's gone crazy. Renewals are still going up, and it's anticipated that we'll keep going as people keep coming in and learning more. Leanne is going to, I'm going to get the acronym wrong, and so something with the school district. She's got a meeting there. They were not aware that we were still open. They thought we were just still doing curbside. So she's got a bunch of flyers to pass out to them and see even more people coming in, especially when school gets out there. The other one I didn't do is, if you recall the old electronic circulation chart from months past, it was just getting crowded because it had a whole year's worth. And so I just pulled that off. We did see a decrease. We saw an increase from April's circulation was more than March's with our electronic materials, but this April's circulation was less than last April's circulation. And I think that's because last April, that's all people had access to, right? And so this year, where people can come in and get their physical items and things like that, there's less of an urgency to figure out all of the electronic stuff this April than there was last April. So it's still good. We're still in the top third, I would say, off the top of my head, of the consortia as far as libraries electronic circulation goes, which is where we've been all along. So that keeps going, and increase fiscal year still continues. So that's good. Weeding. So here's our weeding report. And I heard back from them this morning. So obviously I called the Better World Books people, Nancy, this is especially for you, about getting the check, and finally heard back from them this morning. And it was explained to me again, or wherever we're at. And I finally think I understand it. So I will be changing this report to match what I'm going to tell you now. So in future months. But the way that it works, the way that it will take the friends to get a check, is Better World Books looks at your quarterly sales. And so that is that client commission part, the very last column. That's what they look at right there. And their quarters line up with our fiscal year. So July through September's quarter one, October through December's quarter two, et cetera. For any quarter, if you have a client commission that is more than $50, well, let's start with that's less than $50. They just wipe that out, and it is assumed into the shipping costs and the boxes and everything, and that's just the cost of doing business. If it is more than $50, that quarter that is more than the $50 gets rolled into a check, or will get rolled into a check for you. However, we won't get a check until there are 2 quarters, so there's at least that $100. So as you can see kind of here, our client commission for the first quarter that we were active was just December of 2020. There wasn't anything before then. And so we only had the $38. So the first quarter that we did something with them is just cost of business. We don't get a check for that $38. The second quarter, which is January through March, we're over that $50, but we haven't yet hit the 100. We haven't yet got 2 quarters for 50. So they are holding on to that until there is another quarter. This quarter is April, May, and June. We've just shipped, I think it was 12 boxes a couple weeks ago. We've got another, let's see, 6, 12, 15 ready to go that we'll get out to them, and we'll get there this quarter. So hopefully we're able to see that April, May, and then the quarter ends end of June is when that quarter ends there. I did get right after they emailed me that explanation and clarified that I understood it, I did get another email that said, hey, since you've sent us so many boxes, you actually have a customer service rep instead of just this general. So they want me to reach out to an individual person instead of just the customer service help. So that I think will help going forward as well. But does that make sense a little bit? How if we're just looking at their quarters, July through September, we didn't have anything. And then October through December, we only had 38. So that has rolled into nothing. And we start from scratch. January through March, we were over 50. but we're not going to get a check until there's another quarter that is also over 50, and then they'll do that.
So a quick question is, it's 2 quarters of over 50 within a fiscal year?
Just it rolls over. If you have one that's over 50, it would keep rolling out. So even if this next quarter isn't made, even if the quarter of April through June isn't over 50, that quarter that is over 50 would still
Okay.
roll over until it if you have a quarter that's over 50, it rolls over until there's a check.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand.
So,
Somebody's
Patrick-
making money.
yes, so does it make sense if we don't ship enough books for them to make a big enough commission to make a cover all their handling and everything, we basically have just given them the books then, is what's how I'm interpreting this.
Yes.
And so I suppose there's some science to how many crates of books or predicted value of those before you make a shipment in a particular quarter, or do you have to ship on some cycle?
We just ship when we're running out of space. So
Okay,
there's no cycle or anything like that. Even if we were to get nothing, even if we never made it over that $50 in any quarter ever going forward, to me, it is still worth it because it helps us get rid of the books and not make them a problem for the friends. The friends are still getting, especially right now with this big weeding project, in my opinion, the friends are still getting plenty of new material that they're rolling through their shelves, taking the stuff that's
Okay.
been there to a while to Goodwill or wherever else they're disposing of and recycling.
Right.
So I don't think, and Nancy can yell at me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the friends feel as though they're hard up for why are we getting these bad ones, for quote unquote, and you're giving all the good stuff to Better World Books. I think that it's been a win-win, especially because it's less for Stan and Sandy specifically to process and put on the shelves and all the stuff there.
Yeah, I agree with you. And is it very little work for you to get these books all ready to mail or send or what?
No, so the way that the system has been working, if you can kind of say, so we've got Better World Books boxes right here, and I've got avocado crates for the friends. I just scan the book and Better World Book says, send it, don't send it. So I put it in one box or the other. And then all that it is they pay for the shipping labels. I print them off and tape them on, or I load up the avocado crates and take them over to the Friends building. We don't have to take them to UPS. We can schedule a UPS pickup. So they actually come here and pick them up for us.
Mhm.
So
that
it's
sounds worth it.
the biggest difference is what box they go in.
Gotcha.
okay, that explains it. Because there are, it's kind of like in our private lives, there's sometimes when you are very happy if some salvage person will come along and take that big metal object
Absolutely.
you have to deal with in the garage.
And that's if you've been in the library lately, we're almost I don't know, I can't remember if I put where we were. I've got, out of our giant stack, I've got 3 pages left of adult fiction to weed, and then the entire adult section is done. So the shelves look amazing. Luckily, we're spending some money on some bookends now because the shelves aren't crammed full. We actually have to have something to hold them up. It's the best problem I've ever had to deal with right there. I love it. And then we're going to have the other problem of shifting the shelves up so that we can hopefully get rid of most of those that are on the very, very bottom so people aren't having to kneel down, crouch on the floor and stuff.
Great.
But we'll get that going. Any more questions about the weeding project or Better World Books before I move on? Okay, so finance, we're doing good. It's kind of where we were at. We did make, and I noted in this, we made 2 large children's nonfiction orders. We had some old states collection. This is Oregon, this is Idaho, this is Vermont. That I believe we talked about last board meeting, but those finally came in, so we finally were invoiced for that, as well as a countries collection. And then this is the time of year where a lot of new books are released. And our vendor that we use to purchase most of our books is Ingram, and they don't bill you until they're actually shipped. And so since we started getting boxes and boxes full of books, we started paying for them. And that's kind of how we plan on doing it. So not unexpected right there as far as finance. And last, I am very, very, very excited to say that the library was one of, I believe, 8, maybe it was only 7 this year, but 8 libraries in Oregon we applied for and got accepted into the Libros for Oregon program. I did include the link on the handout if you weren't able to check it out though. Basically what it is that this is a program done through the Oregon Library Association where they take 3 to 4 volunteers from either Oregon Library Association or the libraries that are accepted into the program. And this, I believe it's November, December, they will actually fly to Guadalajara and purchase, we said we'd do $2,000 worth of Spanish language, Spanish printed materials from the Guadalajara International Book Fair. So they're going to go towards purchasing children's, young adult, and adult Spanish language, original print. We're not looking at the translations of Twilight into Spanish or something like that. These are original Spanish language materials. Part of that I am very excited about too is that we, in order to be a part of the program, have to do outreach to the community. But once those come in, and so this, not this summer, but the following spring and summer is when those outreach programs where we're specifically going out into the Spanish speaking community and letting them know these collections and letting them know that we got these new items is where we're headed. That ties perfectly in line with what we wanted to do with the strategic plan, perfectly in line with the goals that the city set forth for us. And now we get to be a part of this program as well. So it's always good to get a win when you apply for something and people say yes. So I'm very excited for that. And it's really a dream.
Well, congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So yeah, the reason why it's 2,000 is because that's the highest they would let us do. Since this is geared for every size of library in Oregon, pretty much it was $0 to $500, and you say what you can spend, or $5 to about $1,500, or up to 2,000. We said, let's look, we're gonna have it. This is where we're going. So let's put as much money as we can into it.
Well, it'd be fun to harness on to the various types of promotional platforms the city has. Ramon can really drill some info out and the like. So that's good.
He will. It's just treading water till they're here. I want to get people excited as far as internally, but I'd hate to put too much out there before the books are actually showing up. The timeline, you can go, when you go on that website, the librosfororegon.org, there's a timeline link to a document for the timeline, and it says to anticipate the books in your library January or February. So we're a ways out, but we're, I mean, I had to announce it as soon as we got it.
So what you're saying about the books themselves, though, are not like translations of popular novels and.
No, they are original Spanish authors that are, Spanish publishers, Spanish authors, then brought in for our collection.
That's wonderful. That's very special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Do you need me to put the agenda back up, Nancy, or
No,
just stop
I
sharing?
I have one here in front of me. So are you finished with your report then for the?
Yeah, that's it. So we're excited. We're going forward. People are still in the building.
Great. So good news and good news. Okay. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business, and there doesn't seem to be anything next to the columns. Does anybody have anything that they can think of that we didn't address that we need to? Okay. And anybody, next item is new business. I had a question about the security, but that got answered pre-meeting, so. Any new business anybody wants to bring up? No.
I don't think we could make a decision without a quorum
No.
today anyway.
We could discuss it though.
Yeah.
We could discuss the length of your beard or, you know, anything. There's anything possible. Okay. We have to make these very serious meetings, do we? Especially if we're not voting on it. So, okay, well, it sounds like we've got pretty much everything on the agenda, and I assume that the next meeting will be the Monday, the whatever,
I believe the 28th of June.
28th of June. Thank you, Kathy. So, and is there a chance that maybe one of these times we don't have to meet Zoom or Google or nope?
We're following the city's lead on that.
Oh, okay, the city makes that decision. I got you. Okay. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, I guess we can't vote on that either, right?